Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Junior.
And I wish I was still playing D&D.
And we're
The Nerdy Bros.
I mean, like, I also wish we were still playing, but, like...
But you were on task. You were just like, hey, we talked about stopping at 10 because we needed to do the podcast, so you still have time.
I like, kept checking the phone at one point. I was like, maybe if we get through this shit fast enough, like...
No, we like, either... But, again, like, I was extremely satisfied with how...
By the way, this is a mukbang episode.
Yeah. I was extremely just crinkle just right next to the mic for a while. I'm asleep. Have they done crinkle on these? Anyways,
yeah, for sure.
Anyways, no, I was extremely satisfied. I was very happy with how well you guys played, like, in the kingdom. Just all the shit that you guys wanted to get done. I am a king without the kingdom. I am a king without the kingdom. Come on, buddies. But no, it was a lot of fun.
No napkins. Fuck.
Was there none in there?
No.
Can you hear me chewing?
No, I'm hearing myself chewing.
Okay.
I'm also not chewing right into the mic.
Well, I was chewing right into the mic to see if you could hear me. But anyways, you guys, welcome back to the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. I know, as always, Junior and I enjoyed doing it. And we've been up to some...
Burger King, sponsor us.
We've been up to some stuff. But we're going to hop right into this episode, just as we always do, with something called Junior's Hot Take. And this is part of the episode where we ask Junior something new and upcoming, get his hot take, hot opinion on it. And Junior, holy balls. I was completely blindsided by this because I had no idea that we would be getting any type of information on it, at least not now, especially with how often this franchise has a penchant for taking for fucking ever to put out any new games. But we got a little bit of a teaser trailer with even some small amount of gameplay for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah. It doesn't look like a Kingdom Hearts game, though.
No, it has straight up divulged into, like, almost full Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Although the Heartless were, like, in the real world, because that's where we got to see the gameplay real quick. Mm-hmm. But that like new move or whatever that Sora was doing looked fucking badass. Where it was like a tornado spear thing. It looked fucking sweet.
Like, I kind of hope. Like, one of the coolest fucking things.
And we did get to see Donald Goofy. I'm wondering if the lettuce is going to appear on camera because it's green. It's because I'm green, isn't it?
As much as people complain about how fucking easy Kingdom Hearts 3 was, I still love the game. Yes, it was extremely easy, but again, those games have always been made geared more towards kids. Although at the same time, I feel like it's always going to be Disney, so it has to be somewhat geared towards kids. But, like, I think they should know by now that, like, at Kingdom Hearts 3, everyone is following this franchise from back when PS2 was out. So they should have made it harder. Like, I mean, I think I've said this before on the podcast that both our younger brother Brian and I played side by side. I played on normal, and he played on, like, proud/critical mode, and he never fell behind me. It was ridiculous.
But he did die. I never died.
A couple times he did, but, like, still, like, it wasn't anything that was, like, that much harder for him to really surpass and stuff. But what I was going to say is one of the coolest things, because mentioning what you said about that, like, spear attack that he did, I thought it was so awesome that the Keyblades had these form changes. So,
in number 3.
Yeah, number 3. So, I am really hoping, not looking forward to, because I don't know, but I'm hoping that you're still going to get some of that.
I mean, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, you're like, oh, man, that's awesome. They take forever. I mean, we just got, like, a teaser. Not even coming in 2023. Nothing. We got to see that, and nothing. There was no, it releases in a year, it releases in 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Like, between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 was, like, a decade.
Just something insane. Like, yeah, some people will argue, it's like, yeah, but you had those games in between. But, like, still, it wasn't anything massive. Like, at least, like, as shitty as it was to have gotten Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advanced, because there was so much story that happened in Chain of Memories that led kind of into Kingdom. Like, for you and I both, because Brian, our younger brother, was the only one that played Chain of Memories originally. So you and I played the first one, knew the story, and then jumped into the second one, and we're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are all these people missing? Organization 13 only has like 7 members. And Brian's like, if you would have played Chain of Memories, you would have known what was going on. And it was like, well, what? I'm sorry, I didn't want to play some Game Boy Advance game.
It's because that was the start of. I didn't know that I had to play games on other platforms that aren't PlayStation to understand this. Like, you're on PlayStation, and then all of a sudden you're on Nintendo, and you have to play on Nintendo to understand what's going on. And then, as the games progressed, and it was like, oh, this one's for PSP only, and then it's just like, yo, what the hell? It's like, why are these games on these other systems? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 2 is finally out after whatever, And then what? In between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3, there was like 5 other games or some shit.
There was 358 and a half days. There was Birth by Sleep. Dream Drop Distance. Yeah. So it was those 3. And then I don't think it was just those 3. Then there was Coded.
Yeah.
Which was a cell phone game and then also came out for the PS2. But then Chain of Memories did that too, because when I beat Chain of Memories, it was when it came out on the PS2. And a lot of people complained that on the Game Boy Advance, I think it was like you fought Riku. It was like a clone of Riku too, like a copy of him. You fought him like 2 or 3 times in Sora's campaign. And one of like the last times that you had to fight him, he was ridiculously hard to beat. For one specific move. And the problem is that when you were playing on the Game Boy Advance, you were on like this 2D screen. And when you played it on the PS2, you had much more room to kind of like evade and get out of the fucking way when it came to like this attack. So yeah, it was kind of fun. Like I didn't hate the card mechanic. And it was cool that they did something different for Chain of Memories.
That's like in between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 2 was 3 years. Kingdom Hearts came out in 2002. Then there was Chain of Memories in 2004. And then Kingdom Hearts 2 in 2005. Coded comes out 2008. Then 358 and a half days, 2009. Birth by Sleep, 2010. Then I can't tell what some of these are. Kingdom Hearts... Oh, Dream Drop Distance. Is that the one where you play in the Hunchback of Notre Dame's world?
Yes.
Yes, So there's Coded, 358 and a half days, Birth by Sleep, and then Dream Drop Distance. And then in 2013 was when 1.5 dropped. And then there was something called Kingdom Hearts Union. Was that the...
That was also a cell phone game.
Yeah.
Because then remember they said, like, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, you got to see, like, the names of all the people that, like, beat that cell phone game or whatever. Because it was, like, Sora was using...
Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in 2019.
Wow.
And then there was another game that came out.
There was that Melody.
The Melody one came out in 2020.
But that was after. And, like, that one was all just, like, kind of, like, music dumb shit. Except for, like, at the very end, you got some story element. And that was kind of like the same thing with Coded. Like, there was just shit that eventually at the end added, like, a tiny bit more to the story, but not much overall. Like, if I was going to say there were games that you had to have played, like, Chain of Memories, for sure. Birth by Sleep, for sure. And Dream Drop Distance, for sure. But, like, 358 and a half days, like, you didn't really have to play.
I think I only played Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
That's the one where you play
Chain
as...
of Memories too, I think.
Well, I played it. I don't know if I played... Because I got the, what was it, the 2.5 remix that had all of them.
I thought you got 1.5 as well.
Yeah. I got the one where I got both games.
1.5 had the first game remastered, Chain of Memories, and then 358 and a half days the movie. Then the 2.5 remix had Kingdom Hearts 2 remix, Birth by Sleep, and then I think it had the coded movie.
But wasn't there like if you play them in order, don't you have to play Birth by Sleep in between like 1 and 2 or something like that?
Birth by Sleep would be the first thing that happened chronologically.
Yeah. That's the one where you play as
Ventus, Aqua, and Terra.
Yeah.
Who all come back. Like, literally, the Kingdom Hearts series spans so much. You start playing them all, and then you see, like, everything get connected. And it's fucking awesome. Yes, is the story beyond fucking convoluted? 100%. There's so much. I mean, there's so many worlds that you go and visit. This mashup of, like, Final Fantasy characters, Disney characters, the Heartless, the Nobodies.
What's crazy is, like, we're talking about this, and people are like, this game is so fucking... Imagine if Final Fantasy 1 through fucking 16 was all fucking connected, just following... Yeah, connected and following each other. How fucking... You'd be like, I don't even understand this at all.
Yeah, they would have to... I mean, the Final Fantasy worlds are always, phenomenal. But just the... It's just cool that the legacy of those games are just basically like... I mean, you could almost kind of call it like... each time is a brand new like campaign, like, for instance, D&D style. But it's always also at the same time something new. You're never playing as the same character. You've got like this new array of like...
I mean, like crossover stuff. Like chocobos are like always a thing.
Yeah. Moogles pop back up. The...
Materia. Like all that shit.
Materia doesn't pop up on all of them, I don't think. Some of them, yes, but not all of them. Wow. But it is insane. But yeah, the graphics were crazy. What was it? I think one of the DLCs that dropped for Kingdom Hearts 3 had you fighting this character that in the Toy Story world, when Sora was like transformed into a toy so he could hang out with like Buzz and Woody, they all assumed that he was an action figure from that video game. And I think it was like Yozora was the name of the video game character.
And you had to get that high score
in that one game, yeah. But at the end of the DLC, you fought Yozora as like a boss, and I didn't beat him. He was a piece of shit, very hard. I definitely watched videos of people that were able to beat him, but he had this ability that he could steal your Keyblade basically. And it was like a grab attack. So he would grab you, then he like copied the Keyblade and made it his own, but you wouldn't have it anymore. So you just had to run around till eventually his skill wore off and you got the Keyblade back. But at the, like, if you unlock the secret ending, spoiler alert if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3, you end up like in Yozora's world, like, or you see Yozora and an Organization 13 member like in the same world, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? On top of the fact that you find out that Zigbar has been some type of either big bad or he's been someone that's
the guy that had the guns.
Yeah, he's either the big bad or he's been some big kind of entity that's been pulling the strings and working all these machinations behind closed doors. It is crazy. Because that one, the other cell phone game that we were talking about, not coded, the other one, Unity or Union or whatever, that one talked about like the 7 original Keyblade Masters or whatever. Those
they all have like different masks, and like one of them has like a unicorn mask.
Yeah.
The one guy he's like sent away right away, and he's like pushing this giant chest.
Yeah.
And that's what Zigbar like comes to at the end of that. That like a bunch of them all come together in like the desert or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. The game doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Like every time you play a new one, you're like, oh my god, what Disney World are we gonna fucking get to explore this time or whatever? And it's so cool. Like it was amazing to be able to explore. This was the first time we were able to explore Pixar worlds.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, I feel like
the Monsters Inc. and Toy Story were like my favorite.
Some of like the voice acting and then the scenes that they chose, because in most of the games you get to kind of like insert yourself into part of like the movies
Yeah, the story
that like
of the
happened.
movie.
Like the Pirates of the Caribbean world.
Oh my god, that world was amazing.
Not only it's phenomenal in Kingdom Hearts 2 and amazing in Kingdom Hearts 3. In the second game you're playing the first movie, and in the third game you're playing the last movie at World's End. Well, not the last movie because then they made that other one. At World's End, and
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
And Davy Jones is like the final bad guy in that Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and you see the scene where like Davy Jones goes, "Do you fear death, Mr. Turner?" And then, Captain Jack's got the blade over to like his heart, and he's like, "Do you?" And then he still stabs William Turner, and you see like Sora, Donald, and Goofy all freak out and like attack Davy Jones in like a cinematic. It was like, oh my! It like gave me chills. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I can't believe they picked this scene for this. And not just that, also in the Tangled world, the Rapunzel one, I can't remember. I think the world was called whatever the kingdom is, but I can't remember.
It's Corona.
The Corona Kingdom. Same thing. They pulled on that heartstring scene where Flynn kind of sacrifices himself to save Rapunzel, and he cuts her hair. So it was, I don't know. I thought they did again, the game was amazing as like a whole, but it was just the combat for the type of like veteran players of different video games and playstyles that we have. The combat was
in Kingdom Hearts 2, they had already made it easier.
They did, but
they made the combat easier. Yeah, the game was still hard.
Fights. Yeah.
But they made the combat easier.
Also, in Kingdom Hearts 3 had like none of the Final Fantasy characters really seemed like they came back. I think you got to see some of them in the DLC where they talked, but it was like they weren't. It didn't really feel like they were part of the crew anymore.
Like Yuffie and Tifa and Cloud and all them.
Yeah. I mean, Sid has been your gummy ship mechanic for the last 2 games, and then this one it didn't feel like he was really helping at all. And no Sephiroth fight.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I think probably people were like, dude, why? Don't even put it in there. Nobody ever beats him anyway.
First of all, we kicked his ass in Kingdom Hearts 2 where he was much easier once we had reaction commands with triangle. For those of you that beat him in the Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1, screw you.
How? How? It's literally die in like one hit. Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see like what world we're gonna go to in
that's the
in
power
this
of the
one.
Keyblade.
Or if there's, I mean, it's like you saw Donald and Goofy, so it's like okay, Disney's still involved, but it's like, but I wonder, like I'm wondering like how many or if any like, because like maybe they're just gonna try to wrap it all up on this last one. Maybe they didn't have too much shit left to do, and they were like, we're gonna do this one, and it's not gonna take us that long because we've got X amount of shit left to do, and then we're done. I kind of want to see like more Yen Sid and shit like that.
Everyone thought they were going to wrap it up on Kingdom Hearts 3 as well, which I would have been fine with. I mean, what was it?
Well, it's like you finally killed. It's just like we finally got the big bad. We were like, okay, yeah, we finally did it. We beat Xehanort. We like finally did the thing.
Xehanort, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, no, there's somebody else that's been pulling his strings too. He just didn't know it, or whatever. And then you're like, oh my god, are you kidding me?
What was it? I mean, the final world with all the different boss fights you had to do was kind of cool, but it like I remember watching that one YouTube series where that guy just announces trailers, but he makes it like funny and like a big like voiceover voice.
The honest trailer.
Yeah, honest trailers. And I think like at the end, because he always names the game something different, and I think he called it like Kingdom Hearts 3 World of Cutscenes or whatever. Because like literally the end of the game was maybe like, I don't know, depending on how good you were against the boss fights, it was maybe like an hour and a half of fighting versus like 7 hours of like cutscenes.
There was a lot of cutscenes in that one. Like every time you got to this new area, there'd be like a 15-minute cutscene.
There really was, yeah. It was insane. But again, like wouldn't trade it. I would like just
that game was awesome.
All the stuff you ended up getting to see.
And it was our first platinum in that too.
Yes. Um, but yeah, any any hopes on any of the Disney worlds?
I'm like trying to rack my brain on like which like I don't want to say. Well, I feel like I have one, but technically it's not. It's like a Disney movie, but not. Like I would love to see the Horn King. Like I would love to see the Land of Prydain, but that's like technically inside of its own like world from the Black Cauldron.
Yeah. I'm trying to think because I still feel like Disney stayed pretty close to animation, where I can't really imagine that they've done too many live action movies. Because besides Pirates of the Caribbean, they haven't done any other live action Disney movies, right?
Yeah, Haunted Mansion, The Prince of Persia.
Yeah, but that's already a video game too.
Yeah. Which aren't you still waiting for that to like get released? That remastered of the original?
They said they were going to remaster the original. I haven't checked in a while, but what if they did like Avengers and Star Wars for Worlds?
I don't know. Like they did that with the Disney Infinity games, but like I almost kind of like I feel like Disney's like, no, this is our like even though they like owned Star Wars and Marvel. I don't know. Would you want to see Sora with like Captain America?
I mean, I think it would be badass. I'm not gonna say I would hate it. I think it'd just be cool. Just because like Marvel is now like kind of Disney canon, like it'd just be hilarious to see it like turn out that way. That he's just able to visit those worlds. I mean, he's already gonna. It already pretty much looks like he's in Yazora's world.
Yeah, but like you said, well, like the Marvel ones, well, like both of them, they're like live action. Like the Pirates of the Caribbean is like the only world where like the graphics in that Pirates of the Caribbean world were fucking out of control, really good.
In the third game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, imagine them having to be like, all right, we're gonna put them in Marvel and Star Wars. So it's like, okay,
yeah, but just imagine the Avengers fighting Heartless.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
I mean, like that does sound cool, but like,
think about like we get to go. Well, I don't know.
Like a lightsaber keyblade?
Well, not just that, but think about like which movie we would go into. Like, wouldn't it be badass if they did like episode 3 with like Sora and the gang, and you get to see Anakin's fall to like Darth Vader?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think like I kind of just want them to keep it in the Disney realm. But yeah, like I'd like to see the Black Cauldron. Trying to think like we saw Snow White, but we've never went into Snow White's world, right? We also never went
in Birth by Sleep. You get to go into her world.
Oh, okay. What about Sleeping Beauty? Maleficent's part of it, but I don't remember ever going.
She had a world of Birth by Sleep too.
Okay.
You like visited, I think right away the first 3 worlds that you could visit in Birth by Sleep were 3 of the Princesses of Heart. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty's world, Cinderella's, and Snow White's.
Okay. Yeah, this was a while ago that I played that because I think Birth by Sleep is the only one that I played. Other than I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, like I replayed those. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, the Horn King is like literally like one of the scariest like villains in fucking Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So like they like. Speaking of like Disney, like I'm so happy that I picked up like that new expansion of the Villainous like board game, and I'm so glad that they put the Horn King as one of the villains because I'm just like, I just hope that it gets. I heard that Disney reacquired because like when you buy the rights of a book or whatever for movie adaptation, you only own it for like a certain amount of time. I heard Disney reacquired the rights like a few years ago, so I'm hoping they're gonna do something with it. It would be badass if they did a live action of that. So like if they reacquired the rights to make movies from that series, The Chronicles of Prydain, if they don't do any more animation, I'm cool with that. Would I like to see it again? Hell yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do a live action of that, oh my god, like totally sign me up for that.
It would be
Because here's the thing, some people are already like, oh, all the live action reboots that they're doing are all trash, and they change this and blah 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 blah. People already didn't even really like the Black Cauldron, the animated one.
But I wouldn't really say it's that they didn't like it. I think there's just a bunch of people that don't know about it. So it has like this. It has this auspicious space to kind of just come in and be its like own new thing.
In the time that it came out, I watched a documentary on like that. That movie got made like I think, how did it go? That movie got made. The next year it went to theater. It bombed in the theater. Like a bunch of people didn't go see it. And when we got it on VHS, Tito, that was the first time it was released. That movie is from the 80s and it got put out in like 1985 in theater. And then it didn't go out on VHS until like 1996 or whatever the fuck. Like,
that's not how long is that how long they would take back then, or it was just like,
no, hell no. I mean, I know now, but like, I mean, think about it. A movie comes out in theater, and then like 6-7 months later, you can buy it for home video or whatever. No one, like, they were like, oh yeah, we have this movie we never released, so they released it on fucking VHS. So like when we watched it, and then like finding out that it was like made in the 80s, I'm like, damn. This movie's from the 80s or whatever. It's like, I mean, yeah, it was. But the first time that we watched it, that's probably the first time that it was ever released on VHS.
It's crazy.
But yeah, if you, I've said this a bunch of times. If you haven't seen The Black Cauldron, fucking watch it. It's awesome. If you like fantasy, like watch this movie. It's fucking awesome. It's really creepy. Especially like as kids, like the Horn King is literally probably the scariest Disney villain. Like I would put the Horn King and then like Maleficent like right underneath. Like Maleficent is terrifying too, and her transformation into a dragon is fucking badass. But like the Horn King, the visuals of that, like not necessarily a spoiler. Obviously, good triumphs over evil in the end. But like, when the Horn King dies, that is some scary shit. Mm-hmm. Especially as a kid, like Jesus Christ. But yeah, the Horn King has only ever been used once in like a Disney attraction at the parks, and it was in Japan. And then that ride got changed, so that ride doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh yeah. Interesting. I did not know.
Indeed. But anyway,
Kingdom Hearts 4. Looking forward to it. Everybody be on the prowl for it. But moving things right along, we come to a fan favorite segment known as
Anime is an important part of our culture.
And for this, all right, I think this Sunday, you guys should be able to watch
this Sunday on WrestleMania.
You should be able to watch all of Demon Slayer, and then the final episode will come out. Like I think it comes out at like 3 or 4. So if you and like Megan finish Naruto, don't start Shippuden right away. Instead, I say watch the new season of Demon Slayer, so I can rewatch it with you guys.
Yeah, but that's how many episodes? Megan still hasn't seen Mugen Train.
Well, for
either.
you, it's 9 episodes.
And Mugen Train.
Yeah, Mugen Train.
Megan hasn't seen that.
I mean, you guys got time. It's only Friday. You've only got how many episodes of Naruto left? Yeah, seriously. I mean, yeah, you guys, we have to go pick up Max and then run other errands beforehand. But you guys literally are at the end of Naruto, and it's between it's the Sasuke Naruto fight, and you guys stopped right in the middle of it. But so there's that, and then holy shit, dude. I think we talked about last week, or maybe you just told me that there were rumors that they might be holding on to the ending of Attack on Titan because they want to make a movie out of it, which would be such bullshit. Like, guys, don't do that. Come on. Just it's coming to a conclusion. Finish it off with the show. Don't be dickbags and hold on to the fucking like movie. But oh god,
I was like, there was a few episodes of like right at the very beginning of the second half of season 4, you were like, Attack on Titan is better than fucking Demon Slayer. But then in the middle of it, you were like, the Demon Slayer episodes are better than the fucking Attack on Titan episodes right now. And then I think last week you were like, the fucking episodes of Attack on Titan, holy shit, they're fucking
well, Demon
crazy.
Slayer is now done though, and it's just, oh my Lanta, dude, just all this. Like it was just.
Has there been way more information? Because I think the last thing I asked you was like, are you getting more questions than answers?
No, you started getting more information. The thing was kind of like, here's the thing, right? So at the start of probably any new season of an anime or whatever, what usually happens, or even what usually happens at the start of a brand new anime?
There's like backstory.
There's like backstory, and then like you kind of got like this slow start, right? It was a mid-season break, so like I'm just ready for everything to just continuously keep popping off, and it felt like it was once again kind of giving you that, like it started good, and then it felt like it fell back into like, let's do another slow start, and you're like, no, god damn it.
Well, it's because there was like season 4 started at like 100, and then it almost like felt like it stayed at 100 all the way through. Mm-hmm. Like there was like when there was like a lull in like an episode that wasn't that amazing, it still only dropped to like 60 or something like that. It never went like back down to like, we're back in this little piece of, we're back in we're back at home and we're cooking dinner and we're all sitting around telling jokes and shit. It was like, Aaron's in prison and this is happening and blah, 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 blah. Like,
dude, it's fucking insane. All the like shit that's like happened. The fact that like, no matter what, like this is an anime and it's already kind of like, it's set the, like a good pace for like, hey, this isn't kid friendly. There's a bunch of gore. There's a bunch of horrifying shit that happens, but it still kind of got to a point where you're like, it can't be this bad. Like, yeah, this is an anime about like war and death and stuff, but like it can't get that bad. And it gets that bad. And it's just like, Jesus fucking H Christ, man. But yeah, the ending of the last episode, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? But, yeah, insane. I don't think, if I didn't mention it last week, mention it again. Ranking of Kings has gotten stunning reviews, and even like better reviews from like my friends and stuff that are telling me that I need to jump on and watch it. So I'm really trying to get on that. Did you finish Akame ga Kill yet or no?
No, I like got halfway through and then just stopped watching it.
Oh.
I feel like I've done it with a few. I never finished Claymore. I got like halfway through Claymore and then never finished that either.
I thought you weren't halfway through. I thought you were like,
which was funny
done.
because I'm like, I've started Claymore 3 different times and I always watch like 1 or 2 episodes and then stop. And then this time I like made it all the way like halfway through the season or halfway through the show and then I just stopped watching it. I don't know. It's because I've just been watching a whole bunch of other shit. But yeah, like Naruto, and I think that's like the only anime that I've been watching. Because I thought about starting like other anime. That's when I started Akame ga Kill, and then I haven't watched any more of that.
Yeah. The only thing is I like Ranking of Kings is what I want to watch next. But again, it's just anime is something that I really have to like. Not only do I have to watch and pay attention to, like focus on it. Like right now, because I'm it's not even backlogged, or it is backlogged, but it's like worse because I'm still in the middle. Well, not the middle, towards hopefully the ending of Horizon Forbidden West, but it's like I have the new Final Fantasy game, and then I still have the Skywalker Saga that hopefully you and I can play together, and not just that, like I kind of feel like that Ghostwire Tokyo game would be kind of cool to play like after you're done with it too. Then I might want to check it out on top of like the other games where I'm just like, I'm gonna go back and platinum these, like. So, and whenever I do that, like if I'm just, especially with Forbidden West, which is like a giant open world game that I can just kind of mindlessly run around and do side quests on that I don't give a shit about. Like, I just watch Critical Role. I can't put on an anime because then at that point I'm not playing video games anymore. I'm just watching the anime. I can't just listen to it. I have to see it too. So I haven't really been able to start Ranking of Kings yet. And I also really want to watch a couple other Fate series that my friends have highly recommended too. So there's those. And then I'm still waiting on like new season of Fire Force, new season of Haikyuu to start back up, and a couple other new animes that are supposed to be coming out, like Chainsaw Man and Kaiju number 8 are supposed to be really good. So I am highly anticipating those. But what about you? So besides Naruto, is there anything else that's on your radar? Or
Well, I want to see that Netflix one, but Bubble, whenever that comes out. That's supposed to be, I think that was coming out this month in April. That's the one where those parkour. It's like the parkour anime, but like the world. It's either Earth. Excuse me. It's either Earth or a different world. Gravity works different.
Oh yeah, you've told me about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that one's gonna be in Japanese, or I mean, like it'll be in Japanese, but I don't know if it's gonna be Japanese only. Because there was that other anime on Netflix that just came out like last year, that it was coming out episodically. So I remember when it came out, there was only like 1 or 2 episodes when I had seen it on Netflix, and it was just in Japanese. Was it called like Blue or something like that?
Was that the art show or the art one?
Yeah, the one about that one. Yeah.
Yo, also in anime news, a new One Piece film is coming out, and I think it's going to be in theaters like here, since like all of a sudden the U.S. has been pretty good about like, I mean, NCG here, like in town right next to us, got the JJK movie in English dub, and I was not expecting it at all. But Shanks' daughter, I mean, you don't know. No, you do know who Shanks is.
I know who Shanks is.
Shanks' daughter.
He's the one that gives the hat to Luffy and loses his arm.
Yeah. His daughter's like a prominent character in this one, which obviously, first of all, no one knew that Shanks even had a daughter, but she's going to be like one of the main characters of the new movie coming out, so I'm really excited for that. Also, One Piece, I think for the last couple of weeks...
Did Shanks become like a villain or something?
No, Shanks is one of the Yonko, one of the 4 emperors. Which
I don't know what the fuck that means, but okay.
It's like the 4 greatest like pirate lords, I guess you could kind of call it. Well, the Yonko is like 4 kings. But yeah, they're like the
Don't you meet? Is that one of the ones that you meet early on?
No. Those are the 7 pirate warlords work specifically for the world government. So they are sanctioned pirates.
Oh,
so everything
that's the one that has like the little dagger. It's like a cross.
Oh, Takaname Mihawk is a warlord. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're sanctioned. Their piracy is basically legal. Everything that they do is like not sanctioned by the government to the point of like they're like
they can commit crimes and shit.
Well, that's what they could do basically, but I'm not saying like the government tells them to go do it, but it's just like when the government calls on them, they have to answer. And like them on top of the 3 Navy admirals are supposed to be the force against like the 4 Yonko, which when the show first starts is Shanks, Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido. Yeah, for the last it's like 2-3 weeks there hasn't been like a new episode of One Piece. So I'm kind of waiting for that to start back up. And the last episode we got was like a backstory of when this random character that you just met in this arc, like I guess met Ace before. So I don't know. I'm ready for something new. But in the spirit of trying to, continue to ask D&D questions whenever we do the segment, I wanted to ask you, Junior, since we've been kind of really big into D&D and stuff, is there any anime world that you think would be fun to play, like try to make like a tabletop role-playing game?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like which anime world would you want to live in? I was like, I feel like we've had this discussion
We've
before.
talked about that. No, which one?
Where I just want to be a fucking blacksmith and stay out of shit.
Yeah, please don't kill me. No, which one do you think would either the most fun as like
Well, I feel like one of the ones where Just because based on D&D, I feel like actually, you know which one would be kind of cool? Fairy Tale.
Oh, yes.
But it's like all magic and not like a fully magic world and not like, hey, we've all got swords and shit.
Well, I mean, kind of similar to that would also be Black Clover.
Yes.
Kingdoms and magic and shite. And even devils. But yeah, that's all I got, unless you have anything else to add.
No, that's it. Segment over.
Fantastic. All right.
Where are we at?
So I think once again, well, I guess we'll talk about what we did together first, which was we went to the movie theater. And for the first time, apparently in our lives, I thought we had done it before, but I guess not. We did a double feature.
Yeah. Like literally.
Yeah.
The guy looked at us weird too. Did you see that when the way he looked at us when you said that?
Like when I bought the tickets?
Yeah, when you were like, I want to get 2 tickets for Morbius, and it was like we walked in right as Morbius was about to start, and then you're like, and then I want 2 tickets to Batman at 9:10, and the guy was just like, oh okay, like he kind of looked at us and was like, and then was just like, he kind of just did the little like, oh, all right.
I mean, I'm paying the man.
Yeah. So we watched Morbius, and then as soon as that ended, 10 minutes later, Batman started. So we just walked across the lobby to the other side.
Yeah, and another thing, NCG, I know you'll probably never really listen to this, but what the hell, man? Like, what happened to the good old days of like, you know, oh, look, some velvet rope or like a Ticketmaster to like...
A Ticketmaster?
Or whatever they were. Or wasn't they were called? The Ticketmasters? Yeah.
No, Ticketmaster is the fucking place where you buy tickets, you jackass.
Well, what did you call the dude that like ripped your tickets? Ticket boy?
A ticket taker.
Ticket taker?
Yeah.
A ticky taker? Anyways.
Ricky Ticky Tabby.
Like, we didn't even have to buy tickets to Batman. We could have just walked to it.
Yes, but that would have been dishonest.
That would have been dishonest and illegal and wrong. But, like, it just kind of, like, makes me feel like... I mean, here's the thing.
There was so much chaos going on when we got out of Morbius. We definitely just could have walked into Batman.
I feel like if it was even barely busy, like unless it was like dead when we walked in, yeah, people would notice that we just like walked through the doors and then going to the back and like, you know.
It was a Saturday, right? It was like last Saturday that we did that.
Because like I still had to work at 6 in the
Yes.
morning the next day, and we didn't get home till like midnight 30, and then we had gotten.
Why do we say that?
Because I'm just used to it. I'd say midnight 30 and noon 30 whenever like, but yeah, and then like we had Wendy's, and I didn't go to bed till like 1:30, and then was up in 3 hours to go to work. But yeah, it's crazy. Like if each clerk was busy with a customer, you could 100% walk in there. You could 100% walk in and then just go to whatever movie you wanted to. On top of the fact that both Morbius and Batman had almost all the seats available, no one would have ever known. No one.
Yeah. But anyways.
But yeah.
So what's kind of cool is that we watched the Marvel movie and then we watched the DC movie.
You know what? I hadn't even thought of it like that. But
yeah,
it is 100% what happened.
So Morbius was awesome, and so was the Batman.
I liked them both, but I thought you had I didn't think you thought Morbius was awesome. I just thought you liked it.
Well, like I thought, like I enjoyed it. Well, because I said this.
I enjoyed Batman more, and I think you agree.
I enjoyed Batman more, but I enjoyed Morbius more than the Venom movies.
Yes, and I agreed with you 100% on the first Venom. The second Venom wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad at all. First Venom was
I liked it, but here's the thing. I think
Venom.
People like the original Venom over the Carnage one more. Like, I think the original Venom got higher praise and did better than the Carnage one.
I have to burp.
But no, I like, again, because I already talked about this. I'm not a fan of the standalone I'm not a fucking fan of the standalone villain films. I said Venom films, which is true, but I'm not a fan of the standalone villain films for the most part.
But so far there hasn't literally the first one that we're getting is a true like standalone villain film would be Black Adam. Because like if you're gonna speak on a technicality
What
again,
you're saying for DC?
no, just kind of in general, because again, with the fact that it is canon and it is written into, you know, the Marvel universe, both Morbius and Venom become anti-heroes. They don't stay villains. Black Adam is always a villain. He doesn't, you know, cross over to the light at any point.
Oh.
Or
Well,
like-
I didn't know the thing about Morbius.
I read it to you like afterward. I didn't either. I knew he was a Spider-Man villain. I had seen him in the Amazing Spider-Man back when we were kids. And again, like in the when you see him in the animated show, his like vampiric like blood sucking thing, it's like his hands. It's like in his hands, which is weird because they still make him look like a vampire with fangs, anyways. But
Well, probably
yeah.
I don't know.
He
I don't know if that
eventually-
I don't know if that's the way it is in the comics. Maybe it was just because it's like, hey, this cartoon is geared towards children, and we don't want anybody biting somebody on the neck in a cartoon, so we're gonna make him bite people
I'm
with
Morbius.
his hands.
And then just biting
Yeah.
kids on the playground trying to
Exactly.
suck blood. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. That they could have done that, but yeah, he eventually becomes an anti-hero. So I don't view it as
I don't know. I just feel like Venom in the Venom movies is not the anti-hero Venom yet. He's still the bad guy.
well, what you mean with Eddie Brock? Like in the new ones? That came
Yes,
out?
in the new ones.
I don't view him as a bad guy at all. Like that's the thing that these things.
Well, in
like,
this
both
one,
of-
he
both of
started
these-
out as the anti-hero right away.
Yeah, both of these movies have not made it seem like they're starting out as villains at all. It would have been different, like in Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire, you get villain Venom. So the separation would be like if you got villain Venom and then you got to see like either in the next movie or the following one with him as a reoccurring character become an anti-hero is one thing. Both in Venom and in Morbius, the new ones, immediately they start as like anti-heroes, not as villains in the slightest.
The thing for me is I don't understand the word anti-hero. Because anti-hero is the antithesis of a hero, which would be a villain. So how are you an anti-hero and not a villain?
Okay, so think about it this way. What is, through the eyes of the law, what is every hero?
A vigilante.
Which is what?
A criminal.
Yes. So, like, right there, it's almost like kind of like an oxymoron to call anybody a hero because they're working outside of the law. But on most heroes, what is the line that they don't cross?
They won't kill people.
They won't kill. So, like, that ends up kind of being the line of, like, hero versus, obviously, villains who kill people and also commit many other crimes. I mean, you could think of it as simple as, like, Batman. He's a hero. Vigilante. That's a crime. Also breaks into places all the time. That's a crime. That like breaks, you know, sovereign borders or shit all the time. That's a crime. Like there's so many crimes there's so many laws that heroes break all the time that they are on a huge technicality criminals themselves, but because they do it for the greater good and they don't kill people, they're viewed as heroes. Anti-heroes cross the line. So in this, it's like, for instance, Deadpool. Deadpool, on many occasions in like certain comic books, comes off as like a jackass mercenary villain, or like that's doing, you know, sometimes bad shit. Like not even remotely doing things for like the good of stuff. Maybe just doing it because he fucking wants to. So anti-hero. So like that's kind of where you get that's the thing where you get that word comes from. Like obviously you're not wrong when it comes to 100% like the vocabulary and meaning / origin of the words, but that's what they're going with when they say anti-hero. They're not viewed as like, you know, oh, this is the person I want my kids to look up to. Like for instance, you know, our 6 Avengers here, but it's more so as like, this guy isn't exactly a bad guy, but he's also not someone that I want my kid following, is kind of like what an anti-hero would be.
Yeah, but but like even take them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Captain America. I'm okay. I don't know. It's hard to. Captain America killed Nazis.
Yeah, he was 100% a soldier. Same thing with like Barton and.
That's what I'm saying.
And
No.
Natasha.
They were not soldiers.
No. Well, I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Those two have both committed murder.
And
They
like,
both assassinations.
Tony Stark in the first one, when he like flies over, I think to like the Middle East and just starts taking out terrorists, like that's him killing people too. But like, I also think that Marvel did a kind of I guess better.
I bet you the Hulk has killed somebody on accident.
Totally. Marvel did a better job of, I think, integrating like what if heroes were in the real world than DC has done. Like, I feel like, because again, and you and I have talked about how DC has kind of made the world more like bleak / darker in its like movies, that there's a lot of time. I don't know. Like, I know obviously the Marvel movies have a lot of like slapstick comedy too, which brings a little more light to it, but it feels more, I guess, fluid, I guess, for the Marvel movies. But then also now we've gotten The Boys, where it's just like, this is more reality of probably what it would look like.
Yeah. But again, it's like, even like the Guardians have like no problem like killing people like up in space. And like, what do you say? Like, oh, well, those are aliens. It's not like they're killing humans or whatever. It's like, well, they're still a living thing. Like, they don't have a problem with that shit.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, it just kind of seems like, by your logic of how you're explaining it, they're all fucking anti-heroes, really.
Essentially, the way they look at it, yeah. But I mean, to a certain extent, like, Venom is straight up like, I mean, both Venom and Morbius were almost straight up eating people.
Yeah, but again, like, that's the thing. It was like, both movies, it's like you were saying, like, they just both start as anti-heroes right from jump.
Yeah, right from the jump. Like, you don't get the
did villain. You look up if the villain from the Morbius movie, if that's a real person in Marvel, if that was created for this?
I forgot to do that, and I should have. His first appearance didn't have that guy in it, because eventually I did see like his Morbius's love interest. I did see her name pop up, like when I was looking up like Morbius's like Marvel backstory and stuff like that. But I don't remember seeing his friend's name, so he might have been someone that was just made specifically for the movie, which I didn't hate though. Like, it did like the movie. Yes, it was better than the Venom ones.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Batman was amazing. I didn't understand how Brian was like, it didn't have to be like a 3-hour movie or whatever.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about like Batman at all yet.
Yeah. And okay, so here's the thing, which like, it sounds a little stupid given like what Batman's like other title is or whatever, but like,
what, Vengeance?
No. Oh. Not in the movie.
Oh.
Like the other thing that people call Batman.
The Dark Knight?
No.
Oh.
Let me fucking finish and you'll fucking probably get it.
Okay.
I felt like this movie wasn't so much a Batman movie as it was
like noir?
Yeah, like a noir, like a crime movie.
But like, that's also one of the biggest reasons why I really liked it.
Like, it's not that I disliked it. Again, I'm just saying, like, I didn't feel like it. Like, it wasn't like this is your classic Batman movie. This is again, and I understand that it was like Batman starting out.
Yeah, this is the only one that's had that. No, that's a lie, because technically
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins with Christian Bale had him starting out. But like, that one also made it seem like he was...
Well, it's like he was gone for all those years, and then he comes back.
But it also makes it seem like right away from the beginning he's like a perfect Batman, though. Like when he finally like dons the suit and goes out.
Yeah, that like one of the best scenes, and like we both were like, oh fuck, like to like kind of like that scene kind of like encapsulates that part is when he fucking is he shoots the Batarang to stop himself or whatever, and he like slams right into the bottom of the bridge and falls on his back, and he's like, oh.
No, it wasn't, dude. If it had been the bridge, no way in hell, whatever the hell he's wearing saves him. It was like a sign. It was like a sign, or maybe like a lamppost or something.
Oh yeah.
If it had been that concrete bridge, hell no. But yeah, that, like, we both like very, very physically reacted to the just, oh god, because yeah, he's like Yeah,
and then just
'cause
like falls on his back.
Aims for like the top of the bus, and you're like, oh, he'll make it. Bam! Just
Yeah.
knocks his shit.
And he just kind of lays it for a second, and then like rolls over and whatever, and then you're like, that's how you know like he's still starting out. He did, and like one of the things that I don't know if we ever saw him use it in the movie or not, or maybe I missed it. On one of his arms, he had like those like it looked like 6 like
No, I feel like
blades that he could like pull out or
they
some
weren't-
shit.
I don't think it was blades. I think that was more of like being able to electrify like his fists, and he does kind of like tase that one guy at the beginning. You did get to see the use of some gadgetry though, so I did. The only
But
thing,
you could tell like it was all like rudimentary.
Yeah,
it was like
the
right
only-
when he first started his.
the only thing I wanted was at least one solid like batarang throw.
Yeah, we only got to see the batarang come out of the center of his chest, and it was just to cut
Like
the cable or whatever.
yeah, just cut something, but it was like no throw. So but I don't know. I would have enjoyed
They just like grounded it more.
Yeah.
Like once again, it was just like Batman. This Batman movie was like, this is a believable. This could totally happen. Somebody could really dress up as a Batman and go after two villains. Like he didn't go after the Penguin at like the fucking Danny DeVito Penguin, the whack 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 with the fucking little flipper hands or whatever. It was like, this is just a man, and his moniker is the Penguin, and he's kind of like a big fat dude with a scar, and he hangs out at the Iceberg Lounge or whatever. But it wasn't all too crazy. What?
I would have liked to see like an umbrella at some point though.
Yeah,
Like him just waltzing around. I thought that would have been a little cool.
yeah. I'm like, I wasn't like, I thought this from the beginning, and I just kind of hope that maybe they kind of take it to the next place a little bit. I wasn't a fan of like the Riddler costume or whatever.
Yes, I was almost about to mention that I did like everything that happened with the Riddler, but I could have done with something like a tiny bit different.
I mean, like, I get that, like, this was also, like, Batman's first encounter with the Riddler, so it was
Yeah.
like, I can't just fucking show you my face, otherwise you're gonna know exactly who I am. I did like at the end, or when like he's finally captured, and they open up his wallet, and he's got, like, 8 different IDs,
I
and
think
they're
it was
like,
only, like,
which one of these is you? And there's like, I don't know, which
He
one
said
is?
like, "You tell me."
Yeah.
Like, laughing about it.
Yeah.
I also, so here's what first of all, I can't think of her real name.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
I didn't even know who you were talking about, but I just assumed it was her.
Yeah, gorgeous knockout for Catwoman. I just thought it was so silly. So she had like her leather suit, kind of like Catwoman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, here was the thing. I could have let it slide had you not given her any type of cat ears, right? Like, let's just say she just wore, like, maybe, I don't know, something like, just like a mask, like almost like Nightwing would wear or something like that. When Anne Hathaway did it,
I was gonna say Anne Hathaway just wore the
she
little
didn't-
black mask that had the 2 little.
No. It wasn't a mask. It was goggles. And when she pulled them up, they looked like cat ears. I liked that. As much as I'm not a fan at all of the Dark Knight trilogy, really, I liked that. However, they gave her the equivalent of half a ski mask that looked like the material of a ski mask that just for whatever reason just had like 2 little nipple points on the top of the head. And I
Yeah.
was like, what is going on here? It doesn't match the rest of the outfit at all.
Yeah,
and who sells a ski mask like this?
Well, nobody. Obviously, she cuts it into that form. I mean,
Well, first of all, there are ski masks that you pull down that has the whole thing, but like, what
well, that
fucking
it
little
just
one
always
has
has the mouth open in the 2 eye openings.
Yeah, it was just like, where are these fucking like little points coming from? Like, I just thought it was very silly. That I was just like, I could have done with something way like what they did with Anne Hathaway. I thought was really cool. That she had those. I don't remember if they were like X-ray goggles or whatever the fuck those goggles did. But when she pulled them up, it was like the cat ears. I liked that. That was cool. But I did not.
I didn't dislike it because I
was about
like
to say,
kind
I
of.
did not like.
I like agree with what you're saying. It's like it didn't match. It was like, here's my $1,000 skin tight leather suit, and here's my $5 hat that I bought. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, so like, I agree with what you're saying. However, I just felt like, yo, wear the ski mask, whatever. Why was the slit this big? Where like, I was like, you, anybody that knows her looks and they go, yeah, that's Selena. Like, you could see almost her whole fucking face.
Yeah, at some point, like, I definitely felt like eventually, like, I thought it was, originally with, like, Superman, it's like, oh, Clark Kent has glasses, Superman doesn't. And it's like, oh, whatever, it's like comic. But then, like, yeah, there's definitely other times it was just like, you guys really are going to sit here and tell me that you don't know it's him? He put on glasses. Never in my life have I ever not been able to tell someone is not them just because they either took off their glasses or put them on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, same thing. It's just like, really? You don't know it's her?
But, yeah, didn't really like the Riddler outfit. The Riddler itself, the actor they got to play him and the whole thing was awesome. I really enjoyed the movie. It was really well done. I already know that they're like already going to do another one. So we got to, even though like in the credits it says like inmate at Arkham, it's like, it's the Joker.
Did you like,
although his face looks so fucked up.
You don't get a close-up of it, but yeah.
He like looked and you could see like his lips were like ripped back and you could see like all of his teeth.
It almost looked like his whole face was like chapped lips almost. Like that's why someone was just like, oh, did you like the Joker at the end? I was like, that wasn't Two-Face?
Because I at first when I saw that I was like, oh, it's gonna be two. Like,
you
oh,
only
it
got to
looks
see
Two-Face.
one half of his face. It's not like you.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's super obscure, so you can't. But like, you get the laugh at the end. You're like, okay, it's supposed to be Joker, but what the hell did they do to him?
Yeah.
So now it's gonna be now we have a whole nother Joker too. Just whatever happens with that though.
But it was awesome. I didn't dislike it. Again, the only thing is just like I just felt like they made it like so real, like because like in the Arkham series, it didn't, or the Arkham series in like the Dark Knight series, for whatever reason, it just still felt like I was watching a superhero movie, and in this one, I was like, I'm watching a crime thriller.
You don't know why? Because it was that damn fucking stupid "I'm Batman" voice. And that's why.
I mean, that's what like a lot of people just complain about just Christian Bale's Batman voice. Like that was like the worst voice or whatever. Yeah. I mean, cut the man a fucking break. He's also British. He's not American. So like, he's like, I have to do an American voice and I have to do a Batman voice. Although actually Robert Pattinson's also British.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, first of all, like,
okay. All right, motherfucker. I'm just going to tell you right now. Do a British voice and then I want you to make it deep like Batman. And then we'll fucking see how good you do.
Do a British voice and then do...
So you have to do a British accent.
First of all, oi, you bloody wanker. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
It's Tuesday, isn't it?
It's Tuesday, isn't it? It's not that bad. It's not that hard. Not that hard. Come on, guys. Figure it out. No, all I was going to say was, first of all, like, I don't think that you need to have, like, that much of a... It's also
part of the disguise. You have to also disguise your voice.
With Bruce Wayne, it's just about tone. It goes from, like, when he's Bruce Wayne, it's just more upbeat. And when he's Batman, it's just serious nonstop. It's not about dropping your fucking voice an octave.
I don't know about that.
But yeah, I mean, but great movies though.
All right, so like you also kind of had a reservation about Robert Pattinson playing Batman after the movie. Were you he did well?
No. The reservation about him playing Bruce Wayne, and only because from the trailers, I immediately didn't like the emo Bruce Wayne. I still don't. I still don't.
But what the hell does that have to do with Robert Pattinson? That's like the director's decision to be like, you're not going to have short hair.
No.
You're going to have a little bit long.
I mentioned this to you, if not on the podcast last week or 2 weeks ago. In person, I mentioned it to you that even in an interview, he was talking about how he's like, everyone tries to play Bruce Wayne like he's this, billionaire. He is a billionaire. Like he's this like kind of playboy or like show off or whatever. And he's just like, and I just didn't want to play him like that. I wanted to play him like a little more serious. And it was like the whole fucking point of his disguise, in the same way that Clark Kent pretends to be like some nerdy kind of cowardly person and then becomes Superman, which is a super alter ego, is the same thing with Bruce Wayne. You don't stay moody and then go to moody again as Batman. Like, no, it was the half of the disguise of, Bruce Wayne obviously not wearing the leather suit is the fact that he plays this upbeat philanthropist that no one would ever fucking expect that this rich kid is running around as Batman. And some people were just like, well, he's still processing the death of his family. It's like, first of all, speaking of someone, us both who have lost a parent, like, that's not something you ever really get over. But it happened when he was a kid, to the point of just like, once it's not like,
but I feel like losing a parent as a kid and losing a parent as an adult are two very different things.
Two very different things. Yes, I agree with you 100%. But to like, people try to use that as the argument of just like, well, he's still in like the grieving process or whatever. And it's just like, I don't know. I didn't, just from the way Batman or Bruce Wayne has always been portrayed, like he always feels like that pain forever. It's part of his like, his shtick, but like not to that extent. I just felt like it was.
No, but I feel that he changed throughout the film, because he was a dick to Alfred at first, and then he was like, I'm an asshole, and then like kind of started to change. So like maybe we'll get a different version. And then I also feel like I don't want to give shit away, but like based on the things that happen with the Riddler and the Wayne family, that this might be the change where he's like, oh, I have to play this different, because at the very end of the movie, not like the very, very end, but like in the last like 10, 15 minutes, when he thinks that the jig is up.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So then I think that maybe in the future, because, they're probably going to do a second one, is that...
I hope.
Is that he's going to be like, all right, Bruce Wayne has to be Bruce Wayne, and Batman has to be Batman.
Yeah.
I can't just be Batman the whole time disguised as Bruce Wayne.
Which is kind of, what Alfred was getting at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I mean,
he didn't want. It's like at the beginning he didn't want to listen.
If that's it, fine. That'll be some really good character development. But just personal preference, I wasn't a fan of emo Bruce Wayne.
Nah, I didn't care. Also, what you saw Bruce Wayne like for 8 minutes of the movie.
That's another thing. Yeah, and that's something that Angel had told us too when we were playing. Like he's mainly Batman the entire movie.
But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you guys ever want to reach out, talk to us, support the podcast, we would love to hear from you guys. You guys can always at me or DM me at BanditoTito93 on Instagram or Twitter. Talk to me about the show. Talk to me about what you like, what you dislike, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. What about you, Junior?
Yeah, you guys can send me a DM at pops.maniac as well as nerdy.bros.inc on Instagram. Yeah, just let us know what you guys like about the show. Ask us a question. Answer the question that Tito's, asked me earlier. And, we'd love to hear from you guys. Don't forget about merch. Links, as always, down below. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Have a good week.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Okay, boy.